Today I want to show you how I inject my TREMFYA pen to treat my Crohn's disease. And so I've showed y'all before how I did my rare disease medication where I drew it up from the vial and did the injection. This is my TREMFYA pen, so it's a completely different way of injecting. And so I want to walk you through that just like I did the other one. I want to show you the pen, show you how the box looks, how it comes out, and get a good close-up of how I actually do this injection. So maybe it'll help you if you're using TREMFYA or if you're using a similar auto-injector. So I'll give you a little bit of my tips, what this looks like, and how I do it. And so this is the box that it comes in. I've not opened it yet, but this is the box. And so opening it, it comes with one injector pen. So I do one of these every single month. And so opening it, you'll see there's some instructions here on how to do the injection. There's a QR code as well if you want to see a video on how to do it. But I like that it has like the instructions here showing how to do it. Comes with in the actual instructions as well in a little pamphlet, and then the medication insert. And then you see here, you'll see the pen. It's very simple. It's just one pen. Overall, very simple, very easy to use. But now I'll show you kind of a little bit more detail of the actual auto-injector itself. So this is it. It is super simple. So if you've ever done an auto-injector, they come in multiple different versions. There's some like the original Humira pen where you pop the cap off, you pull the other part off of the top, and then you push down to inject after you push to your skin. There are some that are like this, what's called like the push touch pen, where you don't have a button to push or anything. All you do is take this cap off, stick it to your skin, and it starts injecting. As you can see, hopefully you can see the medication right here. There's a plunger in there as well that turns yellow as you inject it, which gives you a visual cue that it's done. There's also a sound that it makes, which I'll show you when I do the injection, but there's a sound that it makes. It clicks and when it starts, and then it clicks when it ends. And so it takes about 10 seconds total. It doesn't really hurt for me. Like I've never had it. I've had a little bit of pain, but it's not very painful at all, just in general. But I like the fact that you have the visual cue as well as the sound cue of the clicking that tells you when it starts and when it's done. So it's really cool. It's very simple overall. And I've been on multiple different auto injectors. So I've been on the Humira pen, which I did for 9 years. Then I went to a biosimilar of Humira. That was very similar to the original Humira pen in the way that it worked. It was a completely different shape. However, it still had the cap on it. You pushed it down and then you would push the button. And then I did one that was almost exactly the same as this type of pen, the push touch pen, where you just push down and it starts injecting. And so if you've used one auto injector, moving to different ones, it typically is a very easy like switch. They're not all very different. I know that the Skyrizi injector is very different because it's an on-body injector, but in general, most of the auto injector pens, they're very similar in the way that they work. There's honestly, I don't know how much different you can get with some of them in terms of how they work. So overall, very easy switch for me to go from the Humira type pen to this. This is just super easy to use. And now I will show you how I do that. All right, so show you the cap here pops off like that. And you see it's got the yellow tip on there. Set this over here. I've already put an alcohol swab, swabbed my leg. And so I like to pinch the skin a little bit and then listen for the clicks, okay? So 1, 2, 3. So that was the first click, and now it's injecting. And that was the last click. So clicked once when it started, clicked another time when it ended. Pull up, and now you can see the yellow plunger indicating that the medicine was gone. So the visual indicator that the medicine has been injected. And so there's no bleeding. I do like to rub the spot a little bit just to make sure the medicine gets good and integrated into the subcutaneous area of the skin. And that's it. For me, this injection really does not hurt. There's a little bit of pain with the needle. The medicine doesn't really hurt. And so it's a really easy injection for me personally. I know some people have said that it hurts, but just for me, in my experience, I don't really have any pain from this. I do experience sometimes, I have experience with like Humira before they removed some of the citrate from it, where it was really painful. And so I remember that. And also my rare disease medicine that I showed you before is really painful. And so this one, it's really not for me. Overall, this is a super easy injection to do. I really like the push pin of it. It's very simple where you just remove the cap, pinch the skin, and push down. And so overall, again, just really simple. It doesn't hurt. I pulled this straight out of the fridge to do it. You can, for some people, if it is painful, sometimes if you pull it out of the fridge for 15 minutes, kind of let the temperature come to room temp or get closer to room temp, it can be less painful. So that's a tip. My other tip would be to make sure that you rub after you do your injection, get like a gauze pad or something, and rub over the injection spot to make sure that the medicine has been kind of distributed under the skin. Because sometimes the medicine with the subcutaneous injections, you do it, sometimes it kind of gets held up right under the skin. You'll notice a little lump, and that means it's just right there. So if you rub it and make sure that it gets kind of pushed in and that little lump goes away, typically it won't have any kind of bruising or any kind of pain at that injection site. So sometimes if you leave the medicine sit there and let it take a while to absorb on its own, it can cause some pain. It can cause an injection site reaction, can also just leave like a bruise. So that's kind of my biggest tip with some of these. It's just to make sure that you rub that medication in, because again, it can just cause some discomfort after the fact. So overall, really easy to do for me. I've used multiple different auto injectors. This is one of the easier ones to use. And so, yeah, that's the TREMFYA pen and how I do the injection. I hope that this is helpful for you. I hope that these kind of videos are something that you can come back to and use and reference if you need it. And again, even if you're not on TREMFYA and you're on something similar, or the auto injector is something similar, I hope that this helps. If you have any questions about auto injecting this specific pen, my rare disease pen, the Humira, the other biosimilars that I've on, please leave a comment and let me know. I would love to talk about it and go through it. I've been self-injecting since 2015, so almost 11 years now. So it's just a common practice in my life and something that I'm just very used to at this point. So if there's any tips or anything that I can try to help you with, I would love to. So just let me know. So that's the TREMFYA pen. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, as they say. Comment. I love to interact with the community, and I'll see you for the next one.